kind of random.
What up, y'all? I am your host, Vegas, and this is the Rap Game with Vegas, NBA 2K22 on Xbox Series X. My career. Now I'm playing with the Brooklyn Nets. I'm home. I'm home, y'all. Playing with the team that drafted me, or playing against the team that drafted me in the Pelicans, which I kind of regretted because we were starting to click, like me and Zion, and the whole squad were starting to click, and we had a winning streak. But I had already asked for the trade, so it's a done deal. Ironically, in the trade, they didn't get Kyrie, Durant, or Harden because the rosters is old in this trade, so it's kind of crazy. But nevertheless, they don't realize who they got running the point. I start. Kyrie, you sit on the bench, fam. And if you're wondering, what is the Rap Game with Vegas? Well, if you haven't watched any of these videos, it's where I talk hip-hop and I play video games. In this case, I'm a big sports fan, so it's NBA 2K22. So the thing I want to talk about today, which is actually more of a review, is the new Showtime 3-part limited docuseries, Supreme Team. Directed by Nas, brought to you by Mass Appeal, and most importantly, a part of this road to 50 years of hip hop. One of the other documentaries that were a part of this series of documentaries, Video Music Box documentary. So right out the gate, if you are a fan of being on YouTube and watching all these stories, or maybe you had the DVDs back in the days, right? The Game Overs, all those Larry Davis stories, all those joints, right? Feds Magazine, Don Diva. Do not expect that those types of documentaries that exist on the internet, which is a big thing on YouTube, are more so, and this is no disrespect, but more so like hood documentaries, right? They sort of cover, or tend to cover, not all, but most tend to cover the crimes, the lifestyle more than anything. Because this particular Showtime documentary is about Supreme and Prince specifically, and by way of them, the Supreme Team, but it's heavily infused with hip-hop themes, right? From the way they dressed, inspiring rappers, LL Cool J being in the crowd at one of these famous parties for Prince. In the club, everybody's seen those videos with Busy Bee, Melly Mel there, all of that. So it's really it's heavy on the hip hop side, right? Because you got LL, you got Nas directing, you got Nas giving his accounts of what he remember hearing about them, and most importantly, the thread of hip hop is there, especially once Supreme gets out of prison again, and he kind of links up with Irv Gotti and all of that. So again, you can't compare this to what you watch on YouTube because of the simple fact that this documentary is not only a part of this road to 50 years of hip hop, but it's more about who these guys were, what was the environment they grew up in, how they family saw them, how the cops saw them. It's probably, like, if we were going to compare, right, there's one thing for YouTubers to make like these hood legend videos and really like, yo, yeah, I was getting money and blah 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 and all that, right? This is probably more so looking at the Supreme Team in the same way you would look at an organized crime organization. And anytime you're doing a documentary, the best documentaries are not just about, how much money they had or who they had to kill or set up. And now that stuff is interesting, don't get me wrong. It's kind of why some of these cats are doing well, because it's the detailed stories. This is more so a story about Queens, a story about New York, a story about the 80s, the crack era, um, the black people, you know, the criminal justice system. It's a more it covers more ground than your average YouTube documentary about this stuff. And it's more of a pick your poison type of thing, right? Some people would prefer what you get on YouTube. I mean, I watch them and I like them as well. But there are levels to actually making real documentaries, right? A lot of these cats on YouTube are making documentaries, and they're getting some real exclusive interviews that really dig deep in the story. But this is more about people as a whole, and there's definitely some omissions for sure within this documentary. But I don't feel like it was necessarily bad because it didn't give us a blow by blow account of these cats' dealings, especially when you're ending it where you're not trying to remind people of how ruthless Prince was, knowing he's trying to get out of jail soon because he can, based off of a new law, right? You have Prince and Supreme on the line. There's a certain point of view. They none of these cats, for the most part, seem like they want to glamorize what's being told. So therefore, you're not gonna get them giving up interviews in the same way that Alpo did, right? Just tell me, his murder game was tight, so I hit him in the head and blah 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 blah. And again, for some people, that's more interesting, and I feel like I like both. Now, this is me kind of making, not excuses, but giving you reasons why or why not you would like this documentary. I think if you, again, came for a specific style of documentary, if you have an anticipation that's more so about the money and the murders, there's some of that there, but it's not going to be there in a way you would like. This is telling you a story of who these guys were, what they were able to accomplish, and more importantly, how none of it really paid off for them in the long run, considering they're older men in the prison system. And I think that's what I like about it. What I don't like about it is the pacing, right? Because it's 3 episodes, right? And the way it starts out, it feels like by the time you get to the end, there wasn't necessarily a payoff. Like, the end is fine, the beginning is fine, but somewhere in the middle, it felt like you were going through the motions of the story. It felt like you already knew the ending before we got to the ending, because it wasn't enough there. It was more so like, let's hit these points of the timeline. And I think that could be frustrating to some people who want to learn something new about this situation. And maybe there's nothing new to learn about, right? Because when we look at the internet and we look at YouTube and all these cats that make documentaries and tell stories about a lot of these drug dealers, man, you can spend hours, literally hours, on YouTube just getting the most information from, oh, look at this, I'm working on the court, look at that, boom, good pass. But nevertheless, like, you can get all the information you kind of desire just by going on YouTube. right? But I think this documentary doesn't focus on those things because they've been done before. This documentary gives you a history of hustlers from Queens, hustlers from these projects, including the current mayor of New York City, who used to be a hustler, who used to be a cop, and is now the mayor of the city. There's a moral, there's a through line with this story. See, I think that's what some of the cats on YouTube and on the internet don't get about this documentary, that you have basically let, and again, no shade, but you've basically let amateurs at creating content tell you that that is the bar. And it's not. It's not the bar. Because there's a lot of techniques, there's a lot of research, there's a lot of writing, there's a lot that goes into creating a documentary. It's storytelling, right? It's not retelling. You have to tell a story within the story. There has to be a moral to the story. If you're really just accounting events, right, with a couple of people who've been there, still interesting, still worth clicking on YouTube to me. But a documentary is a totally different ballgame. It's more work than I typically see on YouTube. Now, does this make this better than any Supreme Team documentary on the internet? I don't think so. I just think it makes it another one and a different version of it. I wasn't a fan of. I know it had to have this hip hop angle to it, but I think if Nas was going to be a part of this and make this happen, I would have preferred to have him more behind the scenes, right? Not so many times, with the phone walking around, talk. It was too many shots of that to the point where I started paying way too much attention to it. Some of the voiceovers, him doing voiceovers, I was not feeling because it took away from what you were supposed to feel in those particular scenes. No slight against Nas, but it did, right? Because there are times where he was reading and he sounded very unnatural. Like he was trying to give more energy on this line. And it didn't sound natural because that's not how he naturally talks. And he doesn't necessarily deliver his rhymes in a voiceover way. So how could he really know, right? They should have just paid a professional to do the voiceover, point blank. Someone who could add presence and delivery and drama in parts with their voice. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it took away a little bit. But I'm saying this all just to say that at the end of the day, it is a part of this road to 50 years of hip hop. And just like Video Music Box was one story related to hip hop, this is another one related to hip hop. And some may say, well, what's Supreme Team really got to do? Okay, yeah, rappers wanted to be like them, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there's the Murder Inc. angle, right? There's the E-Money Bag situation. There's the 50 Cent situation. There's a lot of hip hop surrounding this. So, again, I don't think it's whack. I don't think it's anything crazy. I think if you were excited to watch it thinking that Showtime was going to do the best version of telling a story of Supreme Team, they did not. I think they told a story from a different angle being told by the two dudes at the very top of the Supreme Team. And it's about hip hop, and it's about America, and it's about the poor people in the hood, the black folk. It's about a whole bunch of other things outside of jewelry and murders and crack. It just is. That's there, but it's a much bigger story being told, and I appreciate that side of it because that, at the end of the day, That's kind of what matters in these stories, because you always hear about these cats, but you never really know what motivated them beyond money to get them into this game. And it's the same story every time. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a gangster from Cali or from Brooklyn or wherever. It's always a story about poverty. It's always a story about police brutality at the origin of these tales. And seldomly do you get those kinds of angles when you're watching a YouTube documentary. You just don't. You have to set the context for where this story is being told. And it can't be a couple lines of crack vials, mothers outside. That's not enough, though. That's not enough. What was it like to be in New York City beyond a couple of words here and there in the 80s, in the 90s? You know what I'm saying? Who was mayor? What were the laws? You know what I'm saying? How did crack start? Those are the type of things you do when you're really doing a documentary and you want to tell this story and you want to grab every angle that plays a part in this story and include it. You just walk away with more. You just do. So, do I recommend this documentary? Yeah, I think if you have some interest, you should definitely watch it. What I think it does for the cats on YouTube that make documentaries, well, if this is their first time being exposed to the Supreme Team, because remember, everybody don't know about this. This is on Showtime. There's millions of people who have never heard of these cats. I don't care how many views the Hood documentaries get on YouTube. There's millions more who have never heard of them. And what this does is it could raise interest in the Supreme Team. And then people start to Google. And then they find your video. And then you're telling more about it. So in some ways it doesn't hurt. But I would say if you have an interest, yeah, watch it. Is it the best? No, I've seen better on Showtime. Wu-Tang, Rick James, Dick Gregory. Those documentaries were ridiculously dope and well made. But I wouldn't hold you if you didn't want to watch this. I'm just saying. It is what it is. That's going to do it for me. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at VegasWorldINC. If you would like to support, go to patreon.com/hiphopnow, or you can support right now by hitting that like button on this video, hitting that subscribe button, and staying locked into weekly content on this channel and on your favorite podcasting network. Now, back to this game where right now, I'm not really scoring against my team, but I'm going to find a way to make it work. Peace.
At the line, shooting for Brooklyn, MP. At the line, 2 times.
Free throw good, MP.
You have to respect the passion MP brings to his game day in and day out, and he doesn't take nights off or ever give you less than 100%.
Pelicans trail by 7. Here's Alexander Walker. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Screened by Valanciunas. Alexander Walker passes to Valanciunas. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Graham driving the lane.
87.5 wingspan.
Violation. Basketball. Checking in for the Pelicans, Nicholas Boston.
And so it's Durant with it. He'll bring it up for the Nets. 7-point differential. And here's Harden, providing around 26.5 points a game. Rarely has an off night. KD finds MP. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Aldridge. Nails the baby hook. Aldridge has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Dominate on the interior. Aldridge has the height and knows how to use his body to create space.
Here's Alexander Walker. Rebound, Brooklyn.
And really credit their advantage on the backboard. That's where the lead has been built, and that's why they are in control. Man, just adding insult to injury. He just waltzes inside and extends this lead.
An uncontested shot at the rim, you have to compete at all times.
And they pick up 2.
Textbook, nice pass, great catch, even better finish.
A pass to Harden. Back to MP. Aldridge with a screen on Graham. Here's KD. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Valanciunas has got 5 rebounds tonight. Pass to Alexander Walker. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Claxton the pass to Alexander Walker. Three-pointer, Graham. The shot off that time. And it's the Nets taking it the other way. The drive by MP, and it's blocked. Out to the right wing. Here's Alexander Walker, guarded by Harden. Alexander Walker passes to Claxton. Now here's Hart, guarded closely. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down. Hart's got 4 points now.
Timeout. We got t-shirts and they're free. Who wants one? Come on, make some noise.
The Nets.
Yeah, go to work, MP. Show 'em what you got.
Nets leading by 9. So for New Orleans right now, Powell is out there with Williamson. Then there's Jonas Valanciunas. Then it's Jackson Hayes. And it's Claxton in at the 3.
Playing basketball. Pelicans substitution. Josh Hart. Devontae Graham.
And a wide open look for MP. Cans the shot from the wing.
And not thinking twice about it. Fantastic decision by MP to go right up with that one.
Graham with the ball. He's picked up by KD. And it's sent back by KD.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
Pelicans trailed by 11. Graham gets a wide open look. Good, and the assist goes to Williamson. Williamson's got his 3rd assist on the night. Graham against MP. Another miss by MP.
No other way to put it, just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack.
Here's Valanciunas. The rebound by KD. KD's got rebound number 10 tonight with that last one. Durant sets a screen for MP. And they double up MP. Fires from deep. And KD good for 3. And the Nets lead by 11.
Adding to this lead, he's been dependable and consistent at the offensive end.
Graham dishes to Hayes. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
And so far going for more of an inside presence here in the second half, getting away from the three-point shot.
And they double up MP. Lets it go with a 3. And KD the bucket on the assist by MP. Durant's got 6 here in this quarter. Graham kicks to Hart. It's to Williamson. Back to Hart. New Orleans moving it around. Passes to Hayes. To the left wing. And stolen by Harris. Over Hayes. And again, Kevin Durant. And it's now 23 points for Kevin Durant. And so Graham will bring it up for the Pelicans. They trail by 14. Valanciunas finds Hart. Valanciunas with a screen on Harris. Here's Hart. The teardrop falls in.
That's nice work, stopping short of the rim, just laying it over the top.
MP against Graham. MP passes to Okafor. Here's Hart. Williamson. Great positioning on the putback.
He's been a different guy here in the second half. His shooting percentage far better than it was before the break.
It's Durant on the wing. Okafor trying to get open. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Durant's got 25 points in the game.
They have leaned on him all quarter, and it has worked to perfection.
Graham, the pass to Williamson. And Williamson throws it down.
We see it night after night. Zion, relentless assault on the cup.
Durant sets a screen for MP. Drives to the hoop. Outside for KD. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
Yeah, D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
MP against Williamson. And it goes down 2 points. Williamson's got 6 points in the...
Timeout, Brooklyn. Bang.
Loving the hustle, coach.
For Jahlil Okafor. Alexander Walker, he's checked in for New Orleans. MP sets the screen for Harden. Nice crossover to get that one. And the Nets lead by 13.
Superb at finishing through contact. Harden is just so elusive and creative on those strong drives.
Another miss by Williamson.
He looked just a little out of rhythm. He's still trying to establish consistency from there.
Harden's shot is good.
3-point shooting since the half has been about as good as you could ask for.
Shooting foul as the whistle blows.
High school refs better than you guys. Way better.
At the line for the Pelicans, Devontae Graham, shooting 2.
Long range tonight throughout the entire game.
And Graham drops them both. Brooklyn leading by 14. Now, here's MP. Kicks it out to Harden. Harris looking it over. And the Nets, another 3.
Not shy from outside. There's no doubt about that. Spreading the floor and hitting them up.
Hart the pass to Williamson. Brooklyn with the rebound. Harris has got his 5th rebound in this one. MP against Graham. MP can't get it to fall.
And for his offense, this has just been a brutal period.
Williamson finds Hart. Back to Williamson. Here's Graham. Good, and the assist goes to Williamson. Williamson's got 4 assists in the game.
Showing he can create for others, not just himself. Zion's a big, you can run the offense through.
Graham against MP. Misses off the left iron.
And there hasn't been anything easy for him in this period.
And you've seen they've made numerous attempts to try to get him going. Shows how valuable he is to this offense.
Here's Alexander Walker. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
Nets leading by 13. The drive by MP. And it's in there.
Nice move by MP to shake off the defender. He really knows how to execute.
1:43 left in the 4th quarter. Kicks it to Graham. Out to the right wing. Here's Alexander Walker. They get it back. Williamson with the bucket.
Zion Williamson.
Next level strength and athleticism. Zion making his presence felt on the offensive glass.
It's Durant on the wing. Now the pass to Aldridge. MP up top. Graham defending. Here's MP. Bucket is good. And the Nets lead by 15.
And this is what they wanted. I mean, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority. Very decisive. It can definitely be considered a statement win for the Nets.
They really had it going, guys. Their offense propelled them.
In this case, it was the higher shooting percentage that made the difference and earned them the W.
And guys, at this point in the long NBA season, this will go down as win number 25.
And with this win, it gives them a sweep of the season series, even though it's just a brief two-game.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Kevin Durant.
He did all the dirty work that they needed, clearing out space underneath and securing rebounds.
Valanciunas against Aldridge. New Orleans moving it around. Williamson a screen on Durant. 4 on the clock. And the dunk by Williamson.
And you gotta like that they found something positive here, something that maybe carry overs into the next game.
They put together some great possessions here at the end.
His first foul.
Much earlier.
First team foul.
First free throw is good.
Shooting for Brooklyn. MP. Stepping to the line with 2 shots.
No good on the second free throw. Murphy with the ball. It's tipped. It's stolen by Brown. And here's MP for 3. No good. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. Some good work.
Brooklyn 101. The Pelicans 87. We'd like to thank all fans for making it out to tonight's event.
Drop it on the random.